The shape tools in Photoshop, we got 6 of them right here. We got the custom shape, rectangle, ellipse, triangle, polygon, and line tool. Now I'm going to put all these in this one video. I'm not going to make a video for each one. All these do is just make a shape layer. I'm going to go starting with rectangle. Obviously, you can make a rectangle. And if you look in the properties panel over here, this is where you can change the properties of it. You can change the width and height. You can link them, unlink them, right? You can change the angle. You can flip it horizontal and vertical. You can change the fill and the stroke if you wanted to add color to the fill. Change the stroke color, or you can make it not have a stroke. Then you got some other options down here for the corner radiuses, the capping and all that, and the pathfinder options. Now, you can also control a lot of stuff on the actual shape. You see these little blue circles. If you click and drag, it makes the corners rounded. You can double click on one and just control the roundness of that one corner. Also, guys, what you can do, if you hold shift, it's going to make a perfect square when you click and drag. If you hold alt, it's going to start from the center and you pull out. If you hold shift and alt, it combines them. It's a perfect square from the center. And every single shape has these same options at the top. So I'm going to go over this at the end of the video. Next, we got the ellipse tool. And obviously, the same exact commands for the rectangle if you hold alt or shift, right? If you combine them, it does the same things. You got your same options over here in the properties panel. The only options you don't have is for the corners, the corner rounding, because it's not a square. So that's the circle or ellipse. Then you got the triangle tool. Now, if you click once without dragging, it's going to open the create triangle box. And you can choose the equilateral, you can choose the corner radius, and you can make it come from the center. Okay? But the same things apply. If you hold shift, it makes a perfect triangle. Hold alt, it brings it out from the center. And if you hold both of them, it combines it. One thing you do got with the triangle though, you got the corner roundness button. You just click and drag this blue circle and you can turn it into a circle if you want. Next, we got the polygon tool, and same as the triangle, if you just click once, it's going to open up the polygon dialog box where you can choose symmetric. You can bring up the number of sides. Let's just bring it up to 10. The corner radius, the star ratio. You can smooth star indents or click from center. But once you click OK, it makes a polygon with that many sides. It also has a corner roundness button where you can drag in and out, round out the corners. And if you look over here in the properties panel, it's got a couple things that the other ones don't have. You got the number of sides you can change from here. You can bring it all the way up to 100. And you can round the corners too from here. And the next thing is the star ratio. If you bring this down, you can see we can create a lot of cool shapes with this. There's a lot of things you can do with the polygon tool. Next, we got the line tool, and this makes exactly what it says, just makes lines. If you hold alt, you can make multiple, and if you hold shift, you can snap it to the nearest 45-degree angle. So if you want it perfectly horizontal or vertical. And if I zoom in on this, you can see what it is. It's literally just one pixel row. Okay, it takes one pixel and makes a line out of it. Last but not least, we got the custom shape tool. And I like this one a lot because you can basically have any shape. If you open up your shapes panel, any save shape. They got some legacy shapes that you can have for free. They got animals, trees, boats, and flowers. Or you can save your own shapes. Like I got this one here. Now, if you guys didn't know already, shapes, they are vector. All vector means is that it's a path, right? It's a mathematical equation, so you can blow this image up and put it on a billboard, and the shape is going to be the same no matter how big you make it. This would be a raster image. It's made of pixels. If I zoom in, you can see all the individual pixels, right? Now let's go over the top options, which is up here. Again, you can control a lot of the same things over here in the properties panel. We got the presets, shape presets over here that you saved. Then you can choose between a shape, a path, or pixels. If you change it to pixels, your options change up here at the top. You can change the blend mode. It's got all the regular blend modes. You can change the opacity. Then we got anti-alias, just smooths out the edges. You got path operations, which is kind of like your pathfinder options. Path alignment. You got alignment, distribute, and spacing down here. Then you got your path arrangement. After that, we got path options. This is just the color and the thickness of the actual path. And then you got some other options down here you can mess around with. Then we got the shape panel. You just click it and it'll open up your shape panel. It's the same as clicking this over here. Same exact thing. Last but not least, there's a box where you can align the edges. So if we choose path though, and we make a path, you can turn this into a selection, and then it'll open up this dialog box where you can change the rendering and the operation. When you click OK, you can see it's an active selection. Alright, you can turn it into a mask. When you click it, if you look in the layers panel, it turns it into a vector mask. Last but not least, you can turn this into a shape, because technically right now it's a path. If I turn it into a shape, you can see it turns it right into a shape layer. This is where you can control and add a fill and a different stroke to it if you want. You can change the stroke thickness. You got stroke options box where you can choose between a lot of different options. You can save new ones when you make them. You can save them in here. You got alignment options, cap options, corners, and if you click more options, it's the same as if you came here and clicked more options. It opens up the stroke dialog box, and this is where you can make your own. You just choose your line, cap, and corner, and then you can choose a dash and a gap pixel amount. And once you save it, it'll be viewable right here whenever you open up this box. And last but not least, if you click this, you can save the stroke from here also, delete it, copy it, or paste the stroke details. After that, we just got width and height options. If you change this, it just makes it bigger and smaller. You can unlink it and just change the height or the width. Then we got our path operations. This is where you can either make a new layer when you're creating the shape. You can combine a shape with another one. If I click that and I wanted to combine this in it, it just meshes them together and makes one shape, right? You can subtract from it, which is exactly the opposite what I just showed you. You can intersect the areas, which is if I made another shape, it's only going to keep the areas that were intersected, right? Or you can exclude the overlapping areas, meaning you keep everything that's not intersecting and get rid of everything that is. And last but not least, you can merge the shape components. Then we got the align, distribute spacing options up here. Arrangement options, you can bring the shape to the front, you can bring it all the way to the back, you can bring it forward one, or you can bring it backward one. Then we got path options, right? We can change the thickness of the path, we can change the color. Now this isn't stroke, guys. You guys got to remember, this is just the path color. There's also some other settings down here you can play around with. Then we got the shape panel drop down. Same thing as over here. And then finally we got the align edges box. So that's the shape tools, everybody. If you got any questions or comments, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.